G'day, boys. G'day. Good morning. How is everybody? What's up? How is everybody? G'day. Welcome to a very early stream. Welcome to an unemployment stream. No jobs today. Cancellation yesterday. Errands today, this morning. Gym this morning. Errands to run. Ran the errands. Cleaned out the garage a little bit. And now I'm bloody here, boys. Now I'm bloody here. Early stream. Music down, please. Mic sounds weird. Music down. Mic sounds weird. Let me have a listen. Start off the chill. What's up? There we go. There's the chill tunes. Let me have a listen to the microphone. Advanced audio properties. Microphone. Monitor and listen. Testing 1, 2, 3. What's up, Chris? How are you, mate? What's good, mate? How are we? Just me talking into the microphone, listening to myself speak. It actually sounds alright. No, it sounds fine. Sounds fun. I gotta turn this off because I hate being able to hear myself in the headphone. It's weird. Monitoring off. What's up, everybody? What's up? Might be the headphones I have on. Yeah, it sounds alright to me, mate. It sounds alright to me. What's up, Eric? What's up, Bilal's Good Eye? Hopefully you're on your lunch break, working away. How are you, mate? What are you doing up this early? I was about to take a nap. No napping. Ice coffee. We're here. Oi, my fellow Duggers. What's going on? What's up, Ali? What's up, Alex? Good to see you, Alex. Haven't seen you in a long time. Update the members card at the end of the videos, you chud. I do need to update the members card. Thank you for reminding me. Not sleepy hair. I just didn't cut the top of it this week. Hype intro. I'm happy you love the intro. Crispathan. How is everybody? What's up, Johnny? John might want to fight Ank to become the last double champ. I was just looking at the strangest tweet. And I don't know if this is true. I'm going to bring... Yeah, I cut the sides, but I usually do a 19 across the top, but I just left the top this week, so the top's coming through a little bit thicker than usual. Should we do 2 streams today? Not going to do 2 streams today, mate. What are you, bloody high? But we might go for a little bit longer than an hour today, since I'm here. Nacho, the intro was dope. The intro is dope. You get... Shut up, dickhead, Eric. Shut up, Eric. You probably give top.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
We bloody love it. Alright, I saw this tweet and I think it's bloody hilarious. Dougie working ink stick like a demon. I just think it's funny how no one's saying poor Ankalaev for not being able to earn an extra 300k this month. And we're all quite happy to let Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira dictate the way the calendar works. But Magomed Ankalaev, too bad, mate. You're not big enough of a star. UFC Nashville is an abomination. Derek Lewis versus Teixeira, 5-round main event. That is a bloody abomination. Alex, 9 months of membership. Whoosh. Whoosh. What's going on with that? Forget. Very good, Bilal's Good Eye. So has Jon Jones done or something? What is going on with that bloke? Yeah. Jon Jones is related to this. Now, Alex, first of all, yes, UFC Nashville is an abomination. Derek Lewis versus Teixeira is a 5-round main event. It is because people in Nashville are quite happy to pay $700 just to see Derek Lewis because he's a hometown king. Everyone outside of Nashville should be disgusted. Disgusted at that being a main event. Jon Jones says he's done to one of his mates on video call. We're going to look at that as well before we get into the best wrestlers tier list again. How do you think your neighbor Carlos does against Ankalaev? Nobody beats Magomed. No, Carlos Ulberg couldn't beat Jan Blachowicz, so he's not... There's so much going on in the apartment building today. So much. I could barely get back into my own car park. Anyway... no, he can't beat Jan Blachowicz. There's no way that he's beating big Magomed Ankalaev. Nashville is the closest UFC comes to me, so I'm kind of fooked. I don't know if I want to go or not. This is the problem, right? This is the problem. The UFC are so good at drowning out their markets all over the world, and it makes you feel so desperate and wanting to go that you'll just rock up and pay for the tickets no matter what. Alex, if the UFC came to Melbourne, because every time it goes to Australia, it goes to Perth or it goes to Sydney, which are hours and hours away from Melbourne. Australia is the size of America, except we only have 3 cities. If it came to Melbourne, and the tickets were like $400, I'd consider it. I would consider it. $700, $1,000 for the back row, get absolutely fucked. I'd rather just rent out a room at a pub. But this is what the UFC do. They play with the fans. Dana White probably giving Nashville hot wings for free. Probably. Probably. At the arena, you just get given hot wings on the way out. Will you send your money to the... you will spend your money on the UFC. Exactly, Eric. That's what they're like. You will spend your money. You will. All right, what was this tweet I saw on my phone? Oven Vint... Hang... What kind of fucking name is this cunt? Oven Vinta in Vinta... Mate, get a proper name. You are a muppet. What kind of name is that? Rename yourself, mate. Rename yourself. Oh, he's Indian. Sorry, mate. Okay, here we go. Check this out, boys. Nacho, I need you to lock in and look at your phone screen. Alex, you as well. I need the old heads to look at the phone screen and let me know what they think about this, because this is bloody madness. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. The lineal UFC light heavyweight champion. I've got to stop playing this footage. What's up, Rick? How are you, brother? Good to see you again. Been a long time, mate. Hope you've been well. The lineal UFC light heavyweight champion goes from Jenis Pulver to Dwayne Ludwig to BJ Penn, who was beaten by Lyoto Machida. People forget, man, Lyoto Machida, who was beaten by Mauricio Rua, Shogun Rua. So technically, the lineal lightweight champion of the UFC is Jon Jones. You're going to go see the new Mission Impossible movie? I might go and see the new Mission Impossible movie. I might go see it. I'm interested, Rick Allen. I'm a big fan of Thomathan McCruise. Is Jon Jones, which is just bloody madness. How does that even work? Light heavyweight was trash back then. Bunch of washed up dudes. Rick is going to touch it. No, he isn't. That's not how lineal champs work. They stopped at Francis. No one's beaten Francis at MMA, so technically Francis is the lineal world champion. I thought Machida was Jackie Chan for the longest time. Mate, we have had a recent sit-through Lyoto Machida run on the channel. It has been disturbing at best. Disturbing at best. Lyoto Machida, I swear to God, if it wasn't for Joe Rogan's constant and incessant glazing of Lyoto Machida, no one would be remembering him. The dude is a menace. Tom Cruise can beat Marab and Pantoja. Probably. And Crisp says, I don't know what Tez Pomo is. I know, mate. I know. It's just something that the chat like to spam, and I don't blame them. That's okay. That's all right. Right, let's go over to the championship rounds, and let us find the footage of Jon Jones saying that he is done. Jon Jones saying that he is done. Let's go. It's over here. Full screen. Jon Jones saying that he's done. He's here with one of his mates on the phone. And I got to turn this off, and I got to turn on the computer's audio. 1 second. All right, there we go. Let's have a look at this.
How are you, bro?
Everything is fine, my friend.
You doing good, my man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see you again.
You know, John, but you are still active. 10 years left, but you are still active.
He said you got 10 years left, but you're still active.
Oh, yeah, I'm done.
He got a little girl. He's like, oh. How are you?
Now, is this Jon Jones saying that he's just bantering around and he's done with the you've got 10 years left, and he's like, oh, no, dude, I'm done. Or is this, no, I'm done. I'm not fighting again. And is the UFC just keeping this idea of Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall alive? Is the UFC keeping this idea of Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall alive just so they can sell it? What are you showing us? We can't see your screen. You could see my screen, Eric. I know you could. What's up, Skynet? How are you, dude? Tom Cruise actually did that stunt where he drove a motorbike off the cliff. Would you have the balls to do that? Absolutely not, mate. I'm scared of heights. There's absolutely no way that I would do that. Absolutely not. Hey, Two Smelly Fingers is alive and he's back. Good to see you, mate. What is Tez Pomo? Tez Pomo is this pisses me off, Crispithan. What are you showing us? We can't see your screen. You can see my screen. I know that you can. Homie, I wouldn't read too much into some random informational comment Jon Jones made on a random iPhone Instagram screen. I mean, he's talking to one of his mates, and his mates is saying to him, bro, you've been going for so long. You've got another 10 years ahead of you. And Jon Jones goes, nah, dude, I'm done. I'm wondering, Has Jon Jones told the UFC he's not fighting? It doesn't matter. And the UFC is keeping this idea of Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones alive as a negotiation tool and as a bargaining chip for going into negotiations with ESPN and Amazon and Netflix. Are they holding up the UFC heavyweight division so they can have that sort of... Like this, I don't know if people remember this, but the UFC did this exact same thing with Conor McGregor when they went into their ESPN deal. They were holding back Conor McGregor as they were trying to sign on to their ESPN deal. UFC needs to include more cocaine into their formal offer instead of just cash. They need to sweeten the pot a little bit. I can agree with that. I can absolutely agree with that. They do. If you get cocaine involved on the contract negotiations, Jon Jones will sign up straight away. They need to include a very high quality Colombian crack into the formal contract deal, bro. He'll accept the fight then. True, Rick Allen. True. Jon Jones told the UFC he plans to go to Bellator PFL to fight Francis Ngannou. Jon Jones doesn't want anything to do with Francis Ngannou. Nothing to do with Francis Ngannou. One more thing from Jon Jones. I don't know if you guys have seen this today. One more thing. Jon Jones sipping coconuts. Just trolling Tom Aspinall. Just trolling the fuck out of Tom Aspinall. We'll take a look at this and then we'll get back over to the best wrestlers tier list.
Yeah. I'm over here sipping on coconut, talking about when you gonna fight. Yeah.
Bro, Dougie, I'm sorry. I'm going to be busy for 2 or 3 days. Got some extra work. Can't stay logged into your stream fully. I'll holler at you later in the car. All good, Skynet. All good, mate. You do your homework. You get yourself your education. And I will see you later around, man. Thank you for saying g'day and popping into the comments and not just leaving us, you know. There's some people in the chat that just leave us with absolutely no explanation of where they're going. They just ghost us for a couple of days. 2 smelly fingers. I'm looking at you, mate. Base Jon Jones, the lineal god. He is the lineal god of almost every single division, Nacho. Jon Jones is still the GOAT. He is still the GOAT, and it kills me inside. But he's not the GOAT. Mighty Mouse is the GOAT. It's alright, Too Smelly. We love you. If Derek Lewis wins, he's going to fight Jon Jones. I mean, I just want to have some fights for fun. How about me and Derek Lewis? Just for fun. Wouldn't that be interesting? Where is your next vacation spot, bro? Where are you going? I'm not going on a vacation in a long time, Rick Allen. I need to be locked in at the minute in life, unfortunately. But that's just the name of the game that we play, isn't it? That's just the phases of life that we go through, mate. I was about to message you today, bro. Just thought about you earlier. I hope you're all good. There we go. You see, Too Smelly? You've got a group of brothers here that want to know your health and well-being is okay. Tom is going to defend the interim title against Garn. If he does that, we riot. We go to the Apex. We see if we can set fire to it in Minecraft. I close my eyes to nap, and you start yelling, "Some people leave us without saying anything." Go to sleep, Eric. No one's keeping you awake, mate. What's up, Drip Syntax? Dougie, the GOAT, Nacho, and chat. Good to see you, mate. How are you, Drip Syntax? I hope you're well. Who wins? Strickland or Bilal? Bilal. Bilal beats Sean Strickland. Bro, Thailand isn't far from you. You could fly to Thailand and catch John there and interview him for your channel. I know. I could go over to Thailand for... Let's have a look. Melbourne to Thailand Skyscanner. Let's have a look. Melbourne to Thailand Skyscanner. What are we looking at? From Melbourne to Thailand, depart, return, search. One flight, $450. $450. This is what I'm saying, boys. They want to charge us $1,000 for one night to sit in the back row of a UFC arena when you can fly to Thailand for half that amount of money. Eat the giantest, fattest, thickest, juiciest, veiniest of dicks, UFC. I'm not doing it. Strickland KOs Bilal in the first round. Strickland hasn't KO'd anyone in his entire fucking career, Johnny. I don't know what you were talking about there, mate. No, Johnny, no. No, Johnny, no. Get to the back of the bus, mate. Right. Yesterday, we started the best grapplers in the UFC McTier list. The best grapplers in the UFC tier list. And we threw some names around for people's considerations. But here's the thing. I went and looked at it, and rather than throwing down some names for consideration, I came up with my own list. Does Australia have a movie video game rental business like Blockbuster? Not anymore, mate. We used to have Blockbuster, but Blockbuster, you know, it's all gone. It's all gone, two smelly fingers. It's all gone, mate. So I came up with the best 30 grapplers, wrestlers in the UFC today, and I rearranged them, bro. Sorry, bro, I keep getting phone calls for work, so I'm in and out. It's all good, Nacho. I know I'm live during the middle of the workday. You're all good, mate. You do what you got to do. It's weird for the Aussies, but it's a good time for the Americans. But yeah, Nacho, you do your work that you got to do, mate. I appreciate you popping in and saying g'day anyway. What's up, Larry? How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. I hope you're well, dude. How's your day going over there in the States? Are you in the States? You're in the States. Right, so this was my take on the 30 best grapplers in the UFC. This was my take on the 30 best grapplers in the UFC. I know we started talking about it yesterday, so we can mix this up. We'll pick up where we left off yesterday, but I'm going to take you guys through my 30 best grapplers. Bo Nickel comes in dead last. And the 30 best grapplers. Doesn't mean he's not a good grappler, but this is the 30 best grapplers in the UFC. And Bo Nickel comes in at number 30. The fact Magomed D in my pain is champ... The fact Magomed D in my pain is champ Vaney is pissing me off. Exactly, Crisp. No idea what the fuck you're talking about. Next one up. Get the fuck out of here, cunt. Next one up. Colby Covington. 29th best grappler in the UFC. And I don't know where people were saying Paddy Pimblett is a top 5 grappler. I couldn't figure out where to fit Paddy Pimblett into this list as I unveil to you guys the top 30 grapplers in the UFC. I don't know where to stick Paddy Pimblett in there. Strickland has 11 KOs, 38% of his wins. Like most fighters, he just stopped getting them as much as he climbed up the ladder to fight better and better opponents. There you go. Larry is defending Sean Strickland's honor. Drip Syntax is saying that Drip Syntax reckons that I've got Hamzat as number 1 and Arman as number 2. Interesting, mate. Two Smelly Fingers is a heartbreaker. He is a heartbreaker, mate. He broke the entire community's heart by just disappearing on us. You think I've got Arman and Hamzat as number 1 and number 2. Interesting, Drip Syntax. Let's have a look, mate. All right, at number 27, Torres Vinny. Bit of a troll job. But I'm putting Torres Vinny as number 27. Maybe that's the spot that Paddy Pimblett can take over. But Torres Vinny is making it in, mate. I know, only 1 fight in the UFC, 3 fights in the Contender Series, but he's making the list at number 27. Then it's Chiweewees at number 26. Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson's got to go in there somewhere. He's a tricky one. I had trouble placing Grant Dawson. I didn't know where to fucking put old Grant Dawson. He's a tricky one. Chase Hooper is coming at Terrence McKinney, goes in at number 2. Chase Hooper's coming in next. Chase Hooper's taken over. Then Charles Oliveira. I had a hard time. Bo Nickel is dead last. Bo Nickel is number 30. Charles Oliveira, I had a hard time putting Charles Oliveira higher because Charles Oliveira has essentially got a judo throw, but he gets a lot of his submissions after he gets someone knocked down or if someone chases him down. But Charles Oliveira's active, him chasing the takedown grappling, I don't know how to put him above the rest of the people that come in at this list. Because to me, Charles Oliveira is very reactionary grappling. It's very reactionary. He either is very good at chasing a finish after being on the hands, or he's very good at getting knocked down and making you pay for it because he hasn't really been knocked down. He's sort of coaxing you into the knockdowns. Drip Syntax says he would have put Charles Oliveira at number 8. What have I got? 30, 29, 27, 26... 25, 24, 23. So I've got Charles Oliveira at 23, right? Fine home painting. Good on you, mate. I'm a plasterer and drywaller myself. So we should team up and do some business together. Fine home painting. Bo Nickel rides a pink sausage. True. He does, mate. Absolutely not wrong there. What's up, Schwiftzia? How are you, dude? Can Charles Oliveira submit Ilia Topuria? Yes, he can. Yes, he absolutely can, and he might. Or Ilia Topuria is going to rip up his guts with those hands and then finish him with a brutal uppercut. Who knows, fifth year. Fine home painting. Jon Jones is old as fuck. Jon Jones is old as fuck. That's very well observed from you, fine home painting. 30, 29, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Coming in at number 22. Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell. Has Bryce Mitchell got better grappling than Charles Oliveira? Controversial, but I think Bryce Mitchell has got better front foot grappling. Dougie, how far to Tasmania? I don't know. I've started swimming. Haven't managed to get there yet. It's quite far, as far as I can tell. It's definitely more than one solid swim. That's for sure. I'll give you that one for free. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you, dude. Has Bryce Mitchell got better front foot grappling than Charles Oliveira? I think he does. I think he's better off the front foot than Charles Oliveira. Like I said, Charles Oliveira is very reactionary, but once he's reacting, he's very good. I don't figure Jon Jones would risk a KO to Aspinall as his last fight. Doesn't seem like it, Too Smelly Fingers, does it, dude? Seems like he's going to be ducking Tom Aspinall for as long as he bloody can, mate. Oh my god, I didn't realize I was 5 minutes behind the stream. Oh, Nacho. Well, now at least you're caught up now. What's up, Blue Line? Good to see you, dude. How are you, brother? I hope you're well. I don't think Charles has fire in him anymore. I don't think it'll be an old man TKO Burns. I don't think Charles Oliveira has the fire in him anymore. I think it'll be an old man TKO like Burns, Smith, and Cerrone. So you think Charles Oliveira is going to go into ball up and quit mode? Charles Oliveira is going out of the UFC the way that he came in, as a quitter. And the inspector says Bryce Mitchell hid 2 bodies near Spring Hill, Louisiana in 2023. Why are you trying to expose Bryce Mitchell and his business, brother? All right? What he did with them 2 bodies that were trying to come in onto his land is between him and the Lord. Okay? You leave Bryce Mitchell out of this, young man. Dude, like 40% of Charles Oliveira's subs are on the freight from him initiating the grappling. Okay. So, Larry, like I said, this was just me sitting down thinking through this list. This is how we left it last night. This is how we in the chat left it last night, like this, as a bloody mess. Thank you, Too Smelly. This is how we left it. So I'm just taking you through my list. The chat, the live stream, are gonna go back to this, and you guys can give me your input, and you can help raise Charles Oliveira up the list. Right? This is just how I saw it coming in it, and then we'll move it around. Number 1 is definitely going to be Anthony Smith. He literally invented the pig guard. I don't think being pig guard Anthony Smith curling into a ball is going to make you the best grappler in the UFC. Now, local taxi driver, when we do our barren wasteland tier list, the wasteland of the quitters, now that's where Anthony Smith's number 1 contendership will be coming into it, mate. Pig guard was revolutionary. JDM versus Islam. How does this fight go? Islam Makhachev tries to single leg, double leg JDM, can't get him down. JDM spins off the cage, rips him to the body, rips him with the big overhand. Islam Makhachev thinks that he can get in the same clinch grappling and Muay Thai knees up the middle that he does on the smaller guys, only to find out that JDM is about 20 pounds heavier than him, clocks him with a big elbow, smashes Islam Makhachev to the ground. Islam Makhachev gets in on a desperation single leg, and JDM starts beating the shit out of the side of his head, and Islam Makhachev falls to the canvas, face down, ass up, fucking big lanky cunt style that JDM's already knocked out and shits himself. Elite bowl knowledge. Exactly, Crispithan. Is this the gay channel? Oh, there you are, Zisty Dracus. Good to see you, mate. I hope you're good. Anthony Smith, Goblin Guard. Bloody goblin of a thing. Best grappler is Justin Gaethje. No, Woeful. How are you, dude? Hope you're well, mate. Islam won't be able to get takedowns out in the open, and he'll have no way to back JDM into the fence. I agree, Todathan, completely. Islam Makhachev couldn't take down Alexander Volkanovski. He couldn't hold down Dustin Poirier. There's no way in hell he is holding down Just Get Up JDM. JDM sleeps Islam Makhachev in 2 rounds, mate. Dead. What the hell? I opened Discord to enjoy getting ripped by Nacho and saw the stream post. Why at this time? No jobs today, mate. My Tuesday job cancelled on me. So I went to the gym. I ran some errands, emptied out the garage, and in the office for a stream by midday. Isn't it beautiful stuff? Cartoon Shrug. Mario Batista is an S-tier grappler. One good fight does not make it then an S-tier grappler. Charles had a second kid. The fire burns inside him with the intensity of 1,000 suns. Larry knows what it's like to keep putting out dads. Dad-maxing is Larry. Man, the build-up for JDM's 5th title defense against a red-hot Danny Barlow is going to break records. It's going to feed families on this channel, Nacho. And who do we on this channel support? Big Danny Barlow or JDM, mate? Hi, everyone. Like the stream. What is this with 2 likes? No, I'm not. No. I'm not continuing the stream. I'm not continuing the stream until we get some more likes. We got to get some more likes. 2 likes? 2 likes? No. No. Not continuing the stream until we get some more likes. Six likes. We need some more. There's 17 people here. We need 10 likes at least. Nine likes. There we go. We need one more like. There's got to be one more like. We're not continuing without another like. Thank you. All right, let's get on with it then. Good stuff, boys. 14 plus. There we go. We're here. Whenever you release Powhatan slander, I hope you know the first dislike is always those videos always do get dislikes. And thank you, Schwifter, for calling out the channel and getting some likes going. I appreciate it, mate. Look, that wasn't so much the Powhatan slander, Nacho, today. It was more slandering the fan base and how the general MMA audience just seem to pick and choose when they want to be outraged by someone's activity. By credentials, which I don't mean shit nowadays, Cejudo, Nick, Cowboy, and Gaethje. Yeah, you're absolutely right, local taxi driver. By credentials, that is the way that this would turn out. You're not wrong, dude. But credentials mean fuck all. As you said, they don't mean shit. Good on you, Zesty Drickus. I'm not reading out all the gay stuff anymore. Charles has money. He had the belt and he already made it. Charles fans have to cope somehow. But even if he beats Ilya, he has no chance against Arman Tsarukyan. I don't think you can say he has no chance against Arman Tsarukyan when him and Arman Tsarukyan went to a 50-50 fight like 12 months ago, Toad. Yeah. Good on you, Tim. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Leroy Jenkins, Jordan, Tua, Ratio, Larry. Good on you, man. Thank you for the $10 in dono, brother. I appreciate it. Stingy with the likes, people. Oh, I know, mate. Bloody stingy. I'll dono instead of a like. Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. I want a Jamaican baby mama to shit on my face, says Zisty Dreckers. Will Alex versus Ankalaev rematch happen? No, Alex Pereira is ducking Magomed Ankalaev. Charles went to a split decision last time with Arman, so saying he has no chance is kind of cope. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. On you, Tim. I appreciate it, mate. Who are these randoms? They're people who have clicked on the channel at least once. One of the best usernames we'll ever see. Big old Tim. On you, Tim. I appreciate it, mate. You're a legend, Tim. Okay, back to my list. Who came in next behind Bryce Mitchell? Who is chipping away? Who is a better grappler than Bryce Mitchell? Renato Moicano. Savage ground and pound, chasing the takedowns. He has got the offensive grappling and the defensive grappling that while I would say that Charles Oliveira is a better submission artist than Moicano, I would say a better grappler wrestler is Moicano than Charles Oliveira. However, once Moicano has you grappled up, this is just my take, Larry. We're gonna change this, but this is just my take. Once Moicano has you grappled up, he can't get the submissions as easy as Charles Oliveira can, but he can control you better than Charles Oliveira can. And he can be on top and he can be on cage control and fence control for longer than Charles Oliveira can, where people seem to be able to slip away from Charles Oliveira unless he gets the submission. Saying he has no chance against Arman is 100% cope. He literally would have finished the first round if Arman's shots wouldn't have slid down. Yeah, I know, dude. Like, obviously he can. Obviously he has a chance. Obviously Charles Oliveira has a chance against Arman Tsarukyan. Is Charles Oliveira's grappling overrated? I feel like if you're competent enough grappler, you can sub him. Yeah, no, I think his submissions are fairly rated, but people see him as such a sick submission artist that they think his grappling is a lot better than it is. Appreciate it. Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, Tim, Faruta Tires, got the age, always rip into me. Beautiful. People must have forgiven last time he had a kid. People do forget, man. My dad got my dog Preggers. Okay. Ngannou is a top 3 wrestler. No, cartoon shrug. Not even close. A younger version of Oliveira already got dominated by a before his prime Arman apart from 2 subattents. Looking at it a bit objectively, he only has a fluke chance even... No, Toad. No, I don't agree with any of this, mate. No. Disagree, mate. And it wasn't that long ago. We're not talking like Charles Oliveira back in, 2016. We're talking like 12 months ago. You know what I mean? And Charles has remained active. Arman Tsarukyan has actually got ring rust. Like, if they were to rematch today, Oliveira would be nice and limber in training camps, being active, second son, got that mindset. Arman Sarukian would be ring rusty. Yeah, I don't know about that, mate. It's Sly by you, Dougie. Calls for likes gets a dono from me. I wasn't banking on that, Tim, but we do need the likes for the streams. It helps grow the channel. But Moik gets ground and pound finishes. He does get ground and pound finishes. That's true. Which is why I've got his grappling a little bit higher than Charles Oliveira, because if you're getting ground and pound finishes, that means you are dominating someone to keep them in that position while you're raining down damage. Dougie's getting blasted anally. Dougie has erectile dysfunction. Okay. Does Ilya have a chin on him? He does. Shvitsya. He does. Tim, just how bad is Moicano if he got subbed in the first round by a pleb Islam Makhachev? Oh my god. Armin would TKO him in 2 minutes? I don't think he would, Toad. I don't think he would. What's up, Blanca? How are you, dude? Much love to Chili. Right now we are doing the best grapplers in the UFC tier list. Cheers for the gifted sub. You're welcome, Leroy. That was big old Tim. Good to see you back, man. I remember you popping in and saying g'day over the last fight week stream. If subs don't count, then ground and pound doesn't count. No, I'm not saying that, like, the ground and pound counts. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying Renato Moicano can control the person underneath him for long enough to rain down ground and pound. With Charles Oliveira, if he's getting submissions, he is getting submissions because he has knocked someone down or someone's knocked him down. But if they're grappling with each other, people tend to slip away from Charles Oliveira easier than they slip away from Renato Moicano. Just my take on it. Again, once we do the entire list, we can move things around, plenty. Zesty Dricker says, Dougie, can you get your balls out of my mouth?
Why are you gay? You are gay.
Stop it. Okay? Stop it, mate. Why are you this way? Do you think Jon Jones, oh no, I'm done, is a sign of retirement, or will he give us one last fight? I'm starting to think Jon Jones is retired, and the UFC are just holding on to the Jon Jones-Tom Aspinall fight until we get the Netflix deal signed. If Ilya wins, will he be fighting Paddy the Piglet? Yes. The UFC want that fight to happen, and they are in fuck Arman Sarukian mode. Evil Ilya has the best chin in featherweight and lightweight. Best chin. Yes. Money Moicano, top number 1 libertarian in the UFC. Venture capitalists, my brothers. Buy Bitcoin, read the book The Government Tries to Fuck You, and Anatomy of the State. Charles controlled Chandler, who is a higher level fighter than anyone Moicano has ever fought. He didn't lose to in the first round. Oh, Charles did control Chandler. True. You're right, Nacho. Once we get this list done, I'm going to need to move Charles Oliveira up higher. You're right. You are right. I'm going to need to move Charles Oliveira up higher. Yes. All right, next one up. In front of Moicano, according to me. But I've been wrong before, and God above knows that I'll be wrong again. Chat, let me tell you something. The person who's got better grappling than Moicano coming in at number 1 is oh no, I pushed the wrong button. Is Henry Cejudo, chat. Henry Cejudo has got better grappling than all of these fuckers here. Just because Merab Divalashvili lifts you up does not mean he has got bad grappling. His grappling is good, just not as good. The fucking gave it his gold. It's so good, mate. Let me tell you something. BSD is a higher level than 38-year-old Michael Chandler. Benoit Saint Denis is a higher level than a 38-year-old Michael Chandler. No. BSD is a self-trained retard. Alright, above Henry Cejudo comes in fucking Ricky Simone. Henry Cejudo couldn't take down Song Yadong and got manhandled by Marat. But where would you put Henry Cejudo, Nacho? Would you put him down here by Chihuahuas and Torres Finney and move everyone up a little bit? Well, Henry Cejudo is a top 30 grappler in the UFC. He has to be. All right, then you got Beneil Dariush. This is going to be an interesting fight once we get Moicano versus Beneil Dariush. I'm putting Beneil Dariush ahead of the rest of these fucking scrubs. Not scrubs, but you know what I'm saying. Next one up. Alexander Volkanovski, man. People forget, man. Alexander Volkanovski. The entire run all the way up to beating what's-his-face. Jose Aldo. was essentially jab, jab, grapple, grapple, jab, jab, grapple, grapple. Alexander Volkanovski was Merab maxing before Merab was even a glint in his dad's eye, mate. While Merab was in the fucking womb, Alexander Volkanovski was doing his thing. Max Holloway was beating Alexander Volkanovski in the second fight. No fucking worries, mate. Let me get my grapple on. You know? Brian Ortega wants to try and submit Alexander Volkanovski. Let me grapple my way out of this shit. Yair Rodriguez spinning fucking head kicks. Alexander Volkanovski knows when to turn the grappling on. Islam Makhachev trying to hold Alexander Volkanovski down. Get fucked, cunt. I'm bouncing back up to my feet. Alexander Volkanovski, man, underrated grappler. And I believe he deserves to be whatever number we're up to here. 17. Dougie, please. No. French BSD is not a better grappler than a former D1 All-American Chandler. Again, Larry, credentials don't really matter for shit, because if it was credentials, then you'd have to put Henry Cejudo and Bo Nickel at the top of the list. It's about what can you do with your credentials once you're in the UFC grappling in MMA. So this is what we always get stuck in when we talk about the grappling tier list, the boxing tier list, the jiu-jitsu tier list. People go, yeah, but outside of the UFC, they're fucking this, and that. But when they're inside of the UFC, they don't show us those exact skills. So I think it's fair to say that whatever your credentials are outside of the UFC, that's all well and good, but you've got to shelve them like an ecstasy pill once you're inside the UFC. Does that make sense? If you guys don't know what shelving a pill is, good. All right, moving on. Umar Nurmagomedov coming in at number 16. Obviously, people are going to have goldfish memories and be like, he's grappling ain't shit because of everything that happened to Merab, and he is mainly a Taekwondo artist, but he's still got some grappling, although he could probably be too high. I think there's going to be movement here in this section. I think Umar is probably going to move down a bit. Charles is probably going to move up a bit. There's going to be movement here in the guts of the tier list. Next one. Chandler is horrible at fighting, especially now that his athleticism is gone. BSD would sub him in 2 rounds. Chandler's horrible at fighting, especially now that his athleticism is gone. BSD would sub him in 2 rounds. I don't think he would, dude. I think BSD versus Chandler would actually be a highly competitive fight. 2 retards. One young, one old. I think BSD would win. I think BSD would beat Chandler. Maybe BSD would sub him in 2, actually, Toad. Yeah, maybe, dude. Usman Nurmagomedov will get fraud checked soon. We'll see Schwiftzia. I mean, he still beats Sandhagen. Clean. You know? And Sandhagen is no one's joke. BSD went life and death with a complete can coming off the couch 2 weeks. I know, Nacho, I know. But still, Chandler's kind of retarded, and he is old. Like, how old is Michael Chandler now? 38, I want to say? How old is Michael Chandler? Let's ask Google. How old is Michael Chandler? Get the fuck out of here. Dude, Chandler's 39 years old, Nacho. His next fight, the fall off in Chandler's next fight, guys, is going to be incredible. I think Toad has said on this stream that Michael Chandler, that Arman Sarukian and Charles Oliveira is a fucking wash. Arman Sarukian steamrolls Charles Oliveira. I don't agree with that. However, a 39-year-old Chandler coming in against BSD now, I think Toad's right, dude. I was talking about Usman, not Umar. Oh, Usman. Paul Hughes will fraud check him. Yes, Sviftzia. I agree with that, dude. Yeah, Paul Hughes will. Yep. Chandler has a higher takedown accuracy than BSD and a better takedown offense before fighting Charles the second time. This is all fair. Yeah, this is all fair. And I think, like, if you're going to have BSD versus Chandler and they're grappling, like, who would be better on a list like this? When you look at their percentages, Larry, what you're saying is right, and I agree with that. However, like, when it comes to the reality of the world, the next time that they step in the cage, Chandler will be on 39 after a war, and BSD will be BSD. Like, you can have the fucking best stats in the world, you know what I mean? Like, let's say, take all of GSP's great stats. They're untouched now because GSP hasn't fought in so long. But if you put GSP in the cage today with Sean Brady, GSP's in fucking trouble. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can look at the stats, But you got to sort of face the reality of the age of the fighter next time they step in the cage. Does that make sense? That wasn't life and death. It was domination, where he got tagged a couple of times. He wasn't life and death. It was dominated. Chandler would body slam, suplex Makhachev inside of round one. No, cartoon shrug. Absolutely fucking not. But I respect the patriotism. Shelving a pill, done at a fuel time. It does fucking work, doesn't it, mate? The Chandler that fought Charles would have destroyed the BSD that fought 2 weeks ago. It's hard to disagree with that, because the BSD that fought 2 weeks ago looked like fucking shit. And the Chandler that fought Charles had no quit. It is hard to... that is a good point. What's up, Cheddarhead? How are you, brother? BSD versus Chandler is a 29-year-old Chandler with better jiu-jitsu versus a 39-year-old Chandler. BSD versus Chandler is a 29-year-old version of Michael Chandler that has a better jiu-jitsu versus a 39-year-old Michael Chandler. That is true. I mean, again, it's... Nacho and Larry bring up good points. Nacho especially brings up a good point here. You look at Michael Chandler's last fight. He pushed Charles Oliveira. Like, yes, Charles Oliveira won the first 4 rounds pretty cleanly. But he pushed Charles Oliveira in the last round and had guts and heart and had a lot of cardio. Whereas BSD in his last fight was fighting a 35-year-old semi-retired kickboxing coach that just happened to live in the city at the time of the fight. And struggled with him in the first round. And that dude put hands on BSD. You know? I agree, Armin trounces Oliveira. They just fought each other 12 months ago, Tim. He also took Paddy down 4 times, and I'm pretty sure we all agree that Paddy is a better grappler than BSD. There you go. Larry's helping the Chandler cause. Larry's helping the Chandler cause. For fuck's sake, you've been live for 40 minutes. I'll be live for a little bit longer today, Cheddarhead, because it's the middle of the bloody day, mate. I'm unemployed, so if anyone wants to fucking donate some money, because I have... You know the joys of working for yourself? No one's covering this. There's no sick days. There's no holidays. There's no public holiday pay. There's no extra pay on the outside. You go to work and you earn money, or you don't earn any money for the day. So I've earned $0 today. In fact, I had to do a tip run. So I've lost money being alive today because I didn't go to work. So if the least you could do is like the fucking stream. Please, God Almighty, like the stream. I've still got to pay bills, and I don't have any work today. Unemployment, red alert stream, like the stream. I think BSD is genuinely worse than Chandler. BSD is a fraud. I think BSD is genuinely worse. I think it's time to take this to a bloody poll. I like the aggressiveness of BSD. I like the aggressiveness of BSD too, Bretty B. However, does Michael Chandler also not show aggression? Blanca, off topic. Are you clown show MMA or Svan? I don't need an answer. No, Blanca's a Chilean kid that pops in and says hi. What's up, B Fatty? How are you, brother? Gay DM. It's in the dick. I thought Oliveira had Armin in that choke at the end of the fight, and was hollering. I was hollering like an idiot. I thought Armin, Oliveira was about to finish it, but it looked like Oliveira didn't want to crank on it. He just wanted to show off. Every time I watch that choke back, it looks like Oliveira wants to show off to the cameras that he could have won, but he didn't actually try and win. I don't know. I know that's retarded because, obviously Charles Oliveira would try and win if he actually had the choke. But it's that moment where he's, sticking the tongue out, where in my head, every time I watch it back, I'm, screaming to myself, focus, Charles. Focus, mate. For God's sake. Let us do a poll. Who do you guys have? BSD versus Chandler in 2025. Done. Thank you, Nacho, for the $1.50, mate. Every bloody dollar helps, brother. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And thank you, Timbo, for the gifted memberships. And thank all of you guys for at least liking the stream. I really bloody appreciate it. Thank you, Nacho. And I noticed the rainbow there as well.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
We play on. BSD is a better wrestler than Paddy. Paddy got the jiu-jitsu advantage, but he has 0 wrestling. Yeah, just judo throws and all that shit. True, Toad. True. Hi, Josh. Don't understand what you mean by that. Yeah, Josh, Blanca's not Clown Show. Sure as shit beats working for some other cunt, though, bro. Nearly 20 years. Oh, yeah, it does. It does beat working for some other cunt. And it's a day off. You know, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Sure, maybe, but we're not all evaluating. Sure, maybe, but we're not evaluating Charlo's performance against Chandler next time Chandler fights. We're talking about the last time that they fought. True. I'm never betting on Chandler again. Fair. He's losing every fight until further notice. This is the thing, right? As much as we can, if this fight happened, if this fight was booked in to happen on this weekend's fight card, I don't know how I could honestly pick a 39-year-old Michael Chandler. I just don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. So as much as like Larry and Nacho are making complete sense with everything that you're saying about Michael Chandler versus BSD, you're making complete sense. I agree with you. Everything that you're saying is correct. I kind of just side with Cheddar. Like I can't pick a 39-year-old Michael Chandler, even if it's retard versus retard, Chandler versus BSD. I just can't pick Michael Chandler. I can't do it. So, that's where we're at. Jon Jones is the best ever, so we don't need to fight Tom, but vacate the belt. Yes, he's ruining his legacy. Like, no one is going to be able to call Jon Jones the GOAT that ducked Dominic Reyes, Francis Ngannou, and Tom Aspinall. That's like laughable. Like if I find Jon Jones fans in 2025 comical. Like you're an embarrassing human being if you're a fan of Jon Jones in 2025. Paddy beat the fuck out of Muscle Milk Mike. He did, Miguel. True. Chandler versus Anshul Jubilee is a 50-50 fight. All right, Toad, that's too far. Okay. BSD has never beaten anyone in the top 50. And again, Nacho, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. At all. You and Larry, when it comes to Michael Chandler versus BSD, are saying all of the exact right things. BSD wins. And I don't know why, and I don't know how, but I can't pick. I think Cheddarhead has just summed it up. You just can't pick a 45-year-old Michael Chandler. Grant Dawson would smash Michael Chandler. I reckon he would, Miguel. Cross-dressing Rainbow, Ecuadorian. Oh, that's fucking... I know, mate. Best base for MMA. Jon Jones is making me a fan. Oh, he's such a fucking troll, isn't he? If you don't want to fight Tom Aspinall, then just give up the belt. Exactly, Miguel. Exactly, mate. Inshallah, Ishmillah, Bismillah. Buckley is going to KO Usman. I reckon he will, Miguel. I'm still a fan. Can't switch it up. Fair enough, Crisp. He's your GOAT. It is what it is. All right, coming in above Umar Nurmagomedov in the grappling list is Islam Makhachev. Oh, Chandler 81%, BSD 18%. For those of you listening in, not looking at the poll, who would you guys have in 2025 in the stream, in the MMA stream of Dougie's Corner, which is happening in the American time zone? So it's not just Aussies on here. There's Aussies and Americans. There's 14 of us watching. 11 people voted. 81% say Michael Chandler wins. Buckley is going to KO Usman. Don't ignore. In the words of Tony Ferguson, defender vacate. Tiramisu Tuesday. Is that Ricky Simone? That is Ricky Simone. You're correct there, Cheddarhead. Jon Jones is a joke. And going to win my bet with Giuliano. I gave him a 2-1 on that too. Beautiful stuff, Tim. Yeah, I think he made the same bet with Fight Night with Frankie, didn't he? Can't wait to see what shit you cunts have over Islam. I can't wait to see what shit cunts you have over Islam Makhachev. You'll see, mate. Aussies versus Americans, who wins in 2025? I think that's pretty obvious, mate. I think it's pretty obvious. I think the UFC seems to be ran by the Anzacs right now. Yeah? Kai Kara France, Steve Erceg, Dan Hooker, Carlos Olberg, JDM, Jack Jenkins. The Aussies are the UFC right now. Alexander Volkanovski, we are the UFC right now. You guys, quite frankly, the UFC is fucking blessed to have Australians and New Zealanders in it right now. Otherwise, it would be a bunch of Americans getting wrestle-fucked by Dagestanis. And that's just the facts. Chandler UFC wins. Hooker on short notice after being almost killed by Dustin, and CTE maxing Tony Ferguson on a 3-fight losing streak. Let me get my head around this again. Chandler's UFC wins. Dan Hooker on short notice after being almost killed by Dustin, and CTE maxing Tony Ferguson on a 3-fight losing streak. True local taxi driver. And yet the chat still pick him to beat BSD by 81%. Except for Marab. Marab is... What is Marab? Georgian, mate. If you have Arman over Islam when Islam subbed Ilya and Arman couldn't, and if you have Arman Sarukian over Islam Makhachev when Islam subbed Ilya and Arman couldn't, and Islam out-grappled Arman and therefore you should delete your channel, sub Charles, not it. This is why you got me all mixed up here. Okay, so if you have Islam over Arman when Islam subbed Charles Oliveira and Arman couldn't do it, and Islam out-grappled Arman Sarukian and they've all fought, you should delete your channel. Nah, you're using MMA maths here, Nacho. This is not the way that it works. MMA, this is MMA maths, mate. You're not looking at styles make fights. You're not looking at the different sort of strategies in each fight. You're not looking at the minutiae of it. You're just looking at it from too high up. You got to really zone in, Nacho. You got to zone in. Unranked guys who beat current Chandler for SEM. Nazra Hakbaratz, Ribovic, Zehubra, Bachamundas, Torres, Ludovic Klein, Rebecki, the caveman looking guy. The caveman looking guy. Chase Hooper, Ruffy, Jared Gordon, and probably 10 other guys that I forgot. Yeah, this is true, Toad. Like, Chandler just doesn't win. American solos, Aussie's still better than the Daggies, though. We're fucking over the We figured out how to beat the Dagestanis. Us and Craig Jones, not just Craig Jones by himself. For Islam, I put forward my usual Daggy and Islam scorn. All of them already. Boo the Daggies, boo them, cheat. Islam only subbed Oliveira after rocking him. That's what I was thinking. Yes. That's what I was thinking when I put Islam here. Yes. Yes, he couldn't get off any meaningful ground and pound. Yes, so thank you. So it wasn't actually because I've had this argument before about who's got the better submissions, Charles Oliveira or Islam Makhachev. Charles Oliveira obviously has got the better submissions, but Islam Makhachev submitted Charles Oliveira. Yeah, but he did it after rocking him. Toad's absolutely right, and I've argued this as well, Toad. He did it after rocking him. It wasn't like grappling transitions where it was like Muhammad Mikhaev versus Aljamain Sterling. It was striking that led to getting the rear naked choke off. So I'll use that argument. Next one up, above Islam, also Islam Makhachev can't hold down people. He cannot hold people down. He can't get single legs. His grappling is nowhere near as good as Khabib's or the people that are ahead of him that have got far more dominant grappling than Islam Makhachev. Here we go. Bilal Muhammad, for instance, has got more dominant grappling than Islam Makhachev. If it's a holding someone up against the cage or holding them down on the ground and controlling them competition, Bilal Muhammad has got better, stronger grappling than Islam Makhachev. So, Islam out-grappled Arman when they fought. So how is Islam better? Dougie hates Alex and Islam confirmed. Disgusting behavior. I don't hate Islam. I like Islam Makhachev a lot. Chase Hooper does not beat Chandler. Chase Hooper is 100% the most boring fighter in the UFC. Wrong, Crisp. Torres Finney is the most boring fighter in the UFC. Islam is good up against the fence, but he isn't a pressure striker like Khabib, so he can't get it there. And even up against the fence, people have sort of figured him out in his recent fights. Toad. Islam really couldn't do much of anything to Charles on the ground. He was mostly just consistently defending the subs. At one point, just completely disengaging and backing away in order to stay safe. Yeah, Islam Makhachev's grappling is not great. And if you're going to bring up Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian, Nacho, I would remind you that... What am I trying to say? Arman Sarukian took that fight on extremely short notice. Extremely short notice. I am very interested to see how Arman Sarukian goes against Islam Makhachev these days. And Cheddarhead just goes, Ricky Simone, huh? Ricky Simone. The wrestler Ricky Simone, Cheddarhead. The wrestler Ricky Simone. Gamrot. 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 So what did Arman do to Charles Oliveira on the ground? Absolutely fuck all. This is true. Ricky Simone. Why do you keep saying Ricky Simone? What is going on here, Cheddarhead? What do you keep saying Ricky Simone for? At least Nacho is trying to save Charles Oliveira and destroy Islam Makhachev here. You just keep saying Ricky Simone again and again and again. Hugging a 70-year-old Jim Miller to a decision gets him that number one spot. That's fair. And I don't know, dude. They're both pretty fucking boring. Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman. His entire run up to the title was all grappling. And then we didn't see much grappling of Kamaru Usman while he was in the title picture, except for the Jorge Masvidal fight. Masvidal won. where he grappled Masvidal up against the cage and foot stopped him the entire fight. But, I put it to you that the last time we saw Kamaru Usman was in a one-on-one grappling match against Khamzat Chimaev. And Khamzat Chimaev is a fucking weight bully. So it was essentially Khamzat Chimaev that we know rehydrated much better than Usman did. And the day before on the rolling mats, Usman fucked his kneecaps up. And Usman took that Khamzat Chimaev to a draw. Insane grappling. To use wrestling and grappling all the way up to winning a belt, to lean on it when he needed to against Masvidal, and to still have it in his back pocket against Khamzat Chimaev on 11 days fucking notice, is to this day insane grappling, and we haven't seen the ring rust worn out Usman that hasn't got sick grappling anymore. But either this list is number one bullshit. It's alright, you guys are gonna have your chance to move things around. Armin beat the shit out of Charles with the ground and pound. His face was all fucking blown. That is true. Armin's face was all cut up. Dougie, who'll give you this list? We must check this. I made up this list yesterday. Ricky, I offer you this. Ricky Simone, I offer you this. Ricky Simone, brother. Wasn't Oliveira super close to a one-armed Gillian, Armin? Dude was as red as Jones's asshole. Jesus. I don't think Jones's asshole is the one that got... Jones seems like a bit of a top to me, Roberto. Jon Jones seems like he's riding top. Next one. Better than Kamaru Usman, better than Islam Makhachev, better than Bilal Muhammad is... Pantoja. Pantoja's grappling. Let me tell you about Pantoja's grappling. Wow, he's got amazing grappling. I said, wow, he's got maybe pound for pound some of the best grappling in the UFC. Always gets him out of trouble when he needs it. Can always rely on his grappling to win him a fight. I said, wow, Pantoja's got amazing grappling. He can get submissions. He can get the takedown. He can hold you against the cage. He can backpack ride you. He can scramble out. I said, wow, he's got amazing grappling. Did I just delete the person that was behind here? I did. Fuck my ass. Merab Dvalishvili. Kind of got good but shit grappling. Here's the thing with Merab Dvalishvili. He's got great takedown. No, he's got great pressure on the grappling and can consistently go for it again and again and again and again and again. But I know he's done those big memeable moments where he'll kiss O'Malley on the back or he'll pick up Cejudo. But a lot of what Merab does is just get you up against the cage, get some knees, and then let you go again. When you look at Merab's grappling, it's a lot of high pressure grappling, but it's not super effective, damaging longevity grappling. So it's very weird with Merab because he's obviously using his grappling to win himself the belt and he's wrestling to win himself the belt, but he's got to constantly re-engage, which sits him just outside of the top 10 best grapplers and wrestlers in the UFC, which we are now going to get into thusly. The top 10 best wrestlers and grapplers in the UFC. Dvalishvili. All Oliveira did against Armin was fail. Pantoja is shit and boring. We're not talking about how entertaining they are, though, Tim. You're not wrong. Pantoja is boring. Not even that boring, to be honest, actually. He's not that boring. He gets a lot of shit because he's a flyweight. He's not that boring, man. I would say Bilal Muhammad is a more boring champion than Pantoja was. I'm not a Pantoja fan, but how is he not number one pound for pound? He's literally cleaned out his entire division more dominantly than Islam Makhachev did. I agree, Chris. That's Pantoja, it sucks how little love he gets from the UFC fan base. And I think it is just because he's a flyweight. But he should be the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. The Pantoja slander is crazy. It is, Taxi Driver, brother. It is, man. Okay, Dvalishvili, Pantoja, shit as well. All Oliveira did against Arman Tsarukyan was fail. It was an outclassing on the feet and on the ground, but people love Charles Oliveira way too much to see that. I feel like the Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan fight is going to be a big point of contention when it comes to figuring out who's the best wrestler and grappler at lightweight, because that seems to be the splitting of the guard right there. Like, whoever won that fight, if you can figure out who won the wrestling and the grappling between Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan, you can sort of slot in Islam Makhachev and Michael Chandler and the rest of the division around them all. How is Pantoja going life and death with Steve Erceg more dominant than Islam finishing everyone except Volk, which he did the second time? How is Pantoja going life and death with Steve Erceg more dominant than Islam finishing everyone except Volk? In what context? Like, to do with what we're talking about here, in the wrestling or the grappling, or just in the... I mean, in their fights, right, you've got Pantoja going life and death with Steve Erceg, which is one fight that Pantoja's been in, where in a lot of the fights that Pantoja's been in, he has looked very fucking dominant. And Islam Makhachev is getting finishes. But he's getting finishes over a late notice Renato Moicano. He got finisher over Dustin Poirier, but that fight was a life and death fight. Don't act like it wasn't. He got the finish over Alexander Volkanovski. Again, I hate people bringing up that fight. It's 11 days off the couch. It doesn't count. Pantoja lost to Erceg. Fake title reign like Islam. Kai Kara France is the real champ. He didn't. Erceg shouldn't have thrown that last takedown. All right, Zesty Drinkers. Thank you, mate. You are gay. Fuck Gaethje, feed Armin to Piblet. Let's see who's better at grappling. Yes, Roberto. Let's do it, mate. Let's do it. Armin versus Pimlet. Let's do this. Let's go for that. The 10th best wrestler and grappler in the UFC, according to me, is Aljamain Sterling. What the fuck? Why are you there? What the fuck is all this? Oh, shit. Yep, that's what we want. What the fuck is all this? Yep, you got that. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control C, Control V. Yep. Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. All right, there we go. Sorry. Fucked that up. Okay. The 10th best grappler in the UFC is Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades. Pantoja lost to Erceg. Fake title reign, fake champ. Yep. Fake Gaethje. Dougie, my hawk to a man. Wrestled his head straight into Sean's fists. Dougie, can I get some bap? No. This angle makes Dougie look like he enjoys drinking milk from a bag. What is that? What does that even mean? What does that even... With face on. What are you even talking about? If Jailton Almeida isn't moved up, I'm crashing. We will be working through all this, crisp. You guys will be able to get a chance to move this shit around. This is just my take on it, and then you guys get your take on it. Zesty fucking pull up, mate. All right. Number 9. Jailton Almeida. Jailton Almeida is the 9th best grappler in the UFC. You guys had him, grappler wrestler in the UFC. You guys had him in the top 5 yesterday. I think when you see my top 5, you'll know that Jailton Almeida can't be in the top 5. He just can't be. He just can't be. Number 7th, coming in at number 7 is Jon Jones. Jon fucking Jones. Fucking Jon Jones. Listen, I don't like Jon Jones. I don't like Jon Jones at all as a human being. But as an MMA fighter, fuck me do I respect Jon Jones. And he was able to out-wrestle DC. Work DC. Fucking work DC. Fucking work him. And I don't see any evidence that Jon Jones' wrestling isn't there. I see evidence that his striking has declined with his old age, but I don't see any evidence to say that Jon Jones' wrestling has declined with his old age. So to me, Jon Jones is 7th. Jon Jones has that underrated secret bedroom grappling practice. He does, mate. Like, if Jon Jones wants to take you down and do Justin Gaethje things to you, he will do Justin Gaethje things to you. Is Aspinall them? I don't think we should be putting heavyweights this high. I'm not going to ruin the rest of the list. Local taxi driver. Peyton Talbot is the best at holding men down and maintaining top position in the north-south. I mean, Peyton Talbot is very similar to Jon Jones. If he wants you down, he will get you down. Zesty Drinkers says Dougie wishes he could wrestle with Jon Jones. All right, Zesty Drinkers. Coming in at number 6. 10, 9, 8, 7. Coming in at number 7. Armin Tsarukyan. Armin Tsarukyan. We're just going to skip over this one because I can hear the raging... What are you fucking me, fucking Armin Tsarukyan, cunt? What are you fucking talking about? Remember that one fight he had with fucking Islam Makhachev 7 years ago when it was on fucking 2 weeks' notice? Yeah, I get it. Coming in at number 6. Shavkat Rakhmonov, mate. 6th best wrestler grappler in the UFC. Hard to say either really won the grappling when you consider what they were trying to do. It's not like Charles tried to get up a bunch and couldn't. Armin definitely won the striking, but Charles also definitely didn't have the fire in him that night. Well, according to Toad, Charles Oliveira doesn't have the fire in him at all anymore, Larry. If you're on the bottom, you're losing. Classic grappling rule. 5th best wrestler, grappler in the UFC. Roberto says Shavkat got reversed and almost subbed by Gary. Shavkat gets his back taken by Ian Gary. Yeah, he's fucking awesome, isn't he? 5th best grappler. Shavkat over Jon Jones is insane. So you would have Jon Jones higher? Would you have Jon Jones in the top 5, Crispathan? Would you have him in the top 5? Aljamain Sterling. 5th best grappler wrestler in the UFC. Aljamain bloody Sterling, mate. Shavkat lower. Shavkat well lower. Lower. Aljamain Sterling. 5th best in the UFC. Top 5 for sure. No fucking arguments about it. Aljo deserves to be there. What him and Movzar did was a thing of fucking beauty. Plus Aljo fairly won the belt against Piotr Jan using his grappling. Either way, Gamrot has to be above Armin. If we're taking people based on the outcomes of single fights, what happened before, people have to show clear improvement. That's fair. Fuck, this list is bad. This list is fucking great, man. This is a great list. This is almost perfect, I reckon. This is one of the lists of all time. This is a fucking great list. Number 4. Movzar Evloev. But this makes sense. This line of thinking checks out completely. Movzar Evloev absolutely checks out. Is this a members meme video live? No, Roberta. This is the list of the best grapplers in the UFC. This is it. This is official. If you go to the UFC website, you type in grapplers, this is what will just come up. They'll just start playing this live stream, Roberto. Sean Brady. The unified rules of MMA scoring criteria actually state quite clearly that the person on bottom isn't losing just because that you're on bottom. Ooh, Larry's fucking lawyering Toad here with this one. Sean Brady. Dominance. Look at what Bilal Muhammad did to Leon Edwards in the grappling. Look at what Sean Brady did to Leon Edwards in the grappling. Dominance. Grappling and wrestling, Sean Brady. All right, top 2. At the same time. If number 1 is Hamza, I'm crashing out. There is a case Burns should be there. Gilbert Burns should be there. Top 2. At the same time. If you put JDM at number 1. I should have put JDM at number 1. That'd be fucking gold. Fluffy Hernandez. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. He will take you down and fucking destroy your guts. Who the fuck is that guy? Bro, you are a bunch of fucking casuals. Never let bro cook again. You guys are a bunch of fucking casuals, mate. If you haven't got Fluffy Hernandez up there in your top 5, you are fucking sitting in the casual chair. Fluffy is him when it comes to the wrestling and the grappling. He will get you down and he will beat the fuck out of you and he will not let you go. There is no getting up against Hernandez. None. I reckon if you check his stats, they're probably at 0 get-ups and catch and releases. Just saying. Like, it's not my fault you guys aren't watching closely enough. Jailton should be at number 4. I don't think Jailton can be at number 4, mate. You got a hidden talent for ranking. Keep it hidden. Thanks, Chris. It's also quite obvious to see in many fights, Charles has done more damage on bottom than his opponents did on top in many fights. Tony Ferguson is another prime example. Fluffy is just a Marup. Get the fuck out of here with that energy. Fluffy is not just a Marab. Fluffy actually does damage. Marab literally gives you kisses. Fluffy gives you internal bleeding and damage. Marab gives you kisses. Fluffy gives you internal damage. We are not the same, bro. We left the Charles Oliveira convo back, or what? We did. Fluffy over Jon Jones and Brady is fucking crazy work. Tell me how Fluffy doesn't deserve to be there. Tell me how Fluffy doesn't. Fluffy is him. I want to see Fluffy versus... Fluffy is him. Fluffy is the second best grappler in the UFC. This is the grappling tier list. This is the grappling tier list. I will now hear your arguments. Fluffy changed Pereira. I want Dougie to take it in the back to... Okay. All right. Marab better Fluffy than 12 months. Okay, here we go. Now, this is your list, boy. This is my list, which I think is almost 90% correct. 90% correct. This is my list. We will now go to your list, boys. This is your list. Who have you guys got? Where have you guys got him? You guys tried to argue that Jailton Almeida was a fucking top 5 grappler, which is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting to have Jailton Almeida as a top 5 grappler. Corey Sandhagen ends up getting deleted. We don't have room for Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen's going to be getting himself deleted. DC's not in the UFC anymore. Marab would beat Fluffy with 12 months to prepare. Fluffy would fucking flick him off, mate. Fluffy definitely is a top 5, but I feel like you're severely underestimating Colby and Usman for having Hamzat so high and them so low. Colby's getting reversed by fucking Leon Edwards these days. I don't think Colby's got shit anymore. I think Colby's completely burnt out. Good list, except for that Armin maybe should have been in the top 5. You reckon Armin should have been a little higher? I don't know about the second best, but he's extremely effective. Yeah, I feel like in the conversations that we've been having for the last few days, Fluffy has been very underrated. Fuck Raul. What the fuck is Raul Rosas Jr. doing there? He's not even in the top 50. Okay. Is the 90% correct room with us? Is the 90% correct in the room with us? No. No, absolutely not. Even using Tito Mass, that is a 90%. That list was 90% correct. Both want me, but yeah, dude, Fluffy is easily in the top 5. I love the Facebook pictures of Dougie and the banana helmet. Shut up, dickhead. Chris Duncan is number 1. Hamzat, Brady, Jones, Almeida, Usman is top 5. Paul Craig is at number 1. Okay, so I don't think anyone is arguing. I don't think anyone's arguing that Hamzat Chimaev is the best grappler in the UFC. I don't think anyone's arguing that. At all. At all. As well as Brady. I think the top 5 is very easy. I think we can all agree on the top 5, right? No one's arguing the top 5. You'd be hard fucking pressed to say that top 5 is wrong. Jailton Almeida, why do you refuse to get out from behind number 10? There you go. Right, no one's upset about the top 5 being what it is, right? Paul Craig should be both number 1 and number 30. I'm gargling on Paul. Paul Craig might actually be high up. You can't put... All Paul Craig is jiu-jitsu off his back. He's not a wrestler. He's not a grappler. Paul Craig is just Hail Mary jiu-jitsu off his back. There's no fucking way Paul Craig even makes it into the top 30. I'm telling you, by the time you fill out the top 30, Paul Craig doesn't fit in onto the list. He's not. He's just submissions on his back. Not Mobzar? You don't think Mobzar is a top 5 grappler? You got to put Tom in the top 30. Straight armbar Volkov. Dominated ground time. First sub to Arlovsky. Listen, I'll bring Tom Aspinall in on the conversation. But I think, again, by the time you build out the top 30, I think you're going to find that it's going to be hard to put Tom Aspinall in there somewhere. I'm going to argue it. Hamzat gives up on his grappling if there's any adversity. I mean, we haven't seen that much of it, local taxi driver. Paul Craig doesn't make the list because his subs don't care. Yeah, that's what I mean. Paul Craig, I just don't think Paul Craig makes the list. Islam over Aljo and Movza? Absolutely not. Islam doesn't hold people down enough. Islam hasn't got the cage control. No, Islam doesn't go over Aljo and Movza. No chance. No chance. You're going to have to work really hard to argue me out of that one. He makes a good point. I think Islam Makhachev, at best... Where's Islam? Where the fuck did I put Islam? Where's Islam? At best, I don't think you can put Islam Makhachev above the top 15. Legitimately, I don't think you can put him above the top 15. Who's he holding down? Who's he wrestling against successfully? I don't think Islam can go above the top 15. I get Dougie in an armbar just to get my balls in his arm. Alex Pereira has to be above Ankalaev. Ankalaev couldn't take him down, and he did take Ankalaev down. No, but there's not enough. That's one. You can't put someone in the top 30 wrestlers of the UFC because they got one trip over Ankalaev. And Ankalaev isn't even on the fucking list. So no, Larry. Movza does not do anything with his grappling. If Malab is lower, then so is he. But Movza maintains control longer than Marab does. Burns and Uthman both made Hamzat a striker. Hamzat wrestled with Usman for a lot of the fight. It was only Burns. I'm invisible? No, you're not, Brady B. I can see you. If subs don't count, then Burns might be up there. Burns just got shucked off easily by Miles Morales. Man, is this April 1st, isn't it? No, Roberto. Islam is definitely number 15. Yeah, but he can't be higher. Doug, how sore are your knee? They're fine. If he doesn't fight like a boring cunt, he just doesn't fight like a boring cunt, so you're punishing him. I'm not punishing him. I'm saying that his fighting style, while it is entertaining, and I have said many times before, Islam Makhachev is the fifth best fighter in MMA of all time, and could one day be the greatest MMA fighter we have ever seen if he gets one more win. But his grappling and his wrestling is not any higher than number 15. It's not punishment, it's just where his skills are. And when you look at the best fighter of all time, he should be well-rounded. So he should be like a 7 out of 10 everywhere, and Islam Makhachev is. Dougie, could you describe my balls in 2 words? You are gay. By what do you mean is the highest, and could you put him down? By what do you mean the highest you could put him would be the 10 to 15 range? Yeah, but like, when you see how dominant everyone else's grappling and wrestling is above him, the fact that people weasel out from underneath Islam Makhachev and spin off the cage, and he can't get a clean double leg or a single leg, while he is effective at grappling and wrestling, the people above him are far more effective at grappling and wrestling. We don't really know what Tom can do on the ground. I believe he's better than we think. Yeah, but we haven't seen it. That's like saying Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria has got some of the best jiu-jitsu in the UFC because his credentials say so, but we haven't seen his jiu-jitsu in the UFC. Chase Hooper should be number 6. I feel like the Chase Hooper, Grant Dawson, Torres Fitty sort of low watermark is correct. Is correct. All right, let's... What about the 6 to 10? Do you guys have a problem with the 6 to 10? For me, Nacho is missing the Bahamondus, but you'll see. All right, Blanca. 0 chance Movza or Arman take Moicano down and sub him as quickly as Islam did. 0 chance that Movza Evloev or Arman Sarukian could take Moicano down. It's hard to say. Where you rank Usman and Colby should be right in front of him. He dominated Masvidal better than Usman. Also, he broke his foot against Leon. Where you rank Usman, Colby should be right in front of him. He dominated Masvidal. That was so long ago, though, dude. Like I said, the last time, local taxi driver, the last time we saw Kamaru Usman, we saw him taking Khamzat Chimaev to a draw, right? The last time we saw Colby Covington, we saw Leon Edwards taking him down. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the best 30 wrestlers and grapplers in the UFC today. Today. You can't have Colby Covington as number 11 today. Dougie, how cute is Dana White on a scale of 1 to 10? You are gay. Let's put Lopez over Mobza. No, can't do that. Blueprint is probably number 1 in my opinion. Blueprint. I'm not disagreeing. I just want a clarification on what you meant by can't put him higher than 15. Like, is that in the top 15 or outside of the top? I mean, like, from number 1 to number 15. I think Islam belongs somewhere in the top 15, just not deep inside of it. Like, from 10 to 15 is where I could put Islam Makhachev. I could put him here, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can't put him any higher. I can't put him any higher than number 10. You can't put Islam Makhachev higher than number 10. Are you sending this to the UFC brass? I am, Brady B. I am, mate. Didn't Tom hit a takedown and submit? He did, Johnny. He did. I still think, though, by the time you build this list out, you're going to find it hard to have Tom Aspinall in there. I do think. Because you're talking about 2 takedowns over all these guys that are doing wrestling for their entire careers. You know what I mean? It's like how Larry says, put Alexandre Pantoja, put Alex Pereira in there because he fucking judo tossed Magomed Ankalaev once. It's like, no, that doesn't get him in the best 30 wrestlers of all time. Shavkat is not that good at grappling. He struggled against a short notice Gary here. Okay, so we can move Shavkat down. That is true. You guys are right about that. We can move Shavkat down. And that moves everyone else up. Get Henry off the screen. He got taken off by a Chinese guy who hasn't wrestled a day in his life. Henry Cejudo should be in here somewhere. Frank Mir was nasty as well. Shavkat over Islam is retarded. I don't think so, dude. I don't think it is, man. I don't think it is. My advice for future top tier lists is to include the criteria you're using so people can understand it more easily. Well, drip syntax, the problem is we go over this over many, many days. So essentially it's getting the takedown to getting close to a finish. Ground and pound doesn't count and submissions don't count. It is how good are you at pushing your opponent up against the cage or holding them down on the mat and imposing your will. Who is the best grappler or the wrestler in the UFC? Where is the top 20? Where is the top 30? So where does Kevin Lee fit into all of this? He doesn't. Put Shavkat in the top 10 and move everyone up. We just moved Shavkat. Oh, so put Shavkat here? I like that. Shavkat is right outside of the top 15. No, Shavkat's in there. Dougie likes wrestling because he loves smelling other dudes. Cejudo is like number 30. Well, above Bo Nickel and Colby Covington and Torres Finney. Where did you go, Cejudo? Where are you, Cejudo? Where are you hiding, you little fuck? Where's Henry Cejudo? Where the fuck is Cejudo? Do I not have Cejudo in here at all? Where is Cejudo? There he is. Shit. Control Z. There he is. You want to have Cejudo over here? Interesting. Blades is in the top 10 is kind of crazy. Where would you have Blades? Help me. Ian is definitely above Shavkat. Ian is above Shavkat. Oh, I don't like that. The Riddler is over Shavkat. Kayla Harrison should be number 1. Who has Cejudo held down and controlled? Under Marab. Yeah, I was mostly trolling. So I know. Yeah. No, Cejudo works, to be honest. Cejudo at number 30. Ian Gary. I hadn't thought Ian. I'm not kidding. I had not even considered, obviously, Ian Gary for this list. Does Ian Gary... Number 1, does Ian Gary belong in this list? Islam is better than Curtis Blades and Shavkat, brother. How is Islam better than... I've told you why I don't believe in Islam. We must have Islam at number 10. I've told you why I don't believe in Islam. Why should Islam Makhachev be in the top 10? Blades is a top 10. I think Blades is a top 10. Blades has used grappling and wrestling to keep himself at the top of his division for like 7 years now or some shit. Ian Gary wrestles Layla. Gary's an all-rounder. Gary could take down Shavkat, MVP. No Gary? Remove Ian? And shut up. Alright, so Ian is generally not in. Ian's not in. By the vibe of the chat, Ian's not in. Okay. Dear chat, you know what? We haven't done this in a minute. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. We haven't done this in a long time. Layla, we haven't done this in a long time. Shavkat's obviously not the best wrestler in the UFC, so he's not in the top 5. He's not one of the worst wrestlers in the UFC either, so he's not from 25 to 30. So where does Shavkat go? Does Shavkat go 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25? The chat will decide. Where does Shavkat Rakhmonov go? DC. DC's not in the UFC, Brady B. You keep saying DC. I'm getting the message, Brett. You love DC. You want DC in and around your face. DC's not in the UFC. These are the best grapplers and wrestlers in the UFC today. DC's number 1. Bryce should be in front or close to Cejudo. Bryce Mitchell should be in front of Cejudo. Okay, we can do that. Let's play around. Where's me Bryce Mitchell, mate? Where's beautiful Bryce Mitchell and his beautiful blue eyes? His beautiful blue eyes and his beautiful blonde hair. Where is that beautiful Aryan bastard gone? Where are you, Bryce Mitchell? There you are, mate. Your farmer's blue. When your farmer's blue, mate, fucking gorgeous cunt you are. So everyone moves up one. Everyone moves up one as Bryce Mitchell enters just in front of Cejudo, yet somehow behind Bo Nickel. You gotta love doing these lists. Where's DC? DC's not in the fucking... Islam ankle tripped on Dustin Poirier to get the finish is elite grappling. Islam taking down Moicano and subbing him in 90 seconds is more impressive than 90% of this list. That is not true. Islam mauled Bobby Green. Bobby Green. The striker Bobby Green. Shavkat at 10 is decent. He subbed almost everyone. DC is a big fat... Okay. And Dan Hooker showed his grappling is elite. You punish him because he... I'm not punishing him. Where's DC? Shut up, you fucking retards. You guys get so fucking autistic. Where's DC? We want DC. Just because DC could come into the light heavyweight division today at 46 years old and win. Between Bryce and Finney and Dawson. Bryce is between Finney and Grant Dawson. Okay, I like that. Let's move Chase Hooper. I like that. Bryce can go there. And then everyone can go down one. That's beautiful. Oh, look at us building a list, boys. He subbed everyone because he was the first. Not in the top 25 for me as Farka. He subbed everyone because he was the first of the new era fighter division of mostly strikers. You're talking about Shavkat. I'm sure Bryce can be that higher. I'm not sure Bryce can even be that high after the Silver fight. True, Silver was shocking him off. What about Brock Lesnar? Dougie, be real. DC would kick your ass in real life. He would. Nichols shouldn't be ranked. He hasn't done anything grappling-wise to prove he is top 30. He got reversed by RDR and lowballed Pickett to get the takedown. He did kick Pickett in the balls and struggled against Brundy. Okay, so it looks like Shavkat Rakhmonov is coming in at 15 to 20. So it looks like Shavkat, so far, we'll put Shavkat at 15. We'll put Islam at 14 and get Islam to work his way up the list. There you go. Let's go for that. On behalf of Nacho, I'd like to nominate Danny Barlow for the top 15. No, Islam is a top 10 brother. Out-grappled Armin, who you love to glaze. Subbed Charles Oliveira and Armin couldn't. Okay, so now that we've just done that for Shavkat Rakhmonov, where does Islam Makhachev go? Where does Islam Makhachev go? Well, this is actually too obvious. This is too obvious, isn't it? So where does Islam Makhachev go? Don't forget, Islam Makhachev couldn't hold down a 145 Alexander Volkanovski. If Layla Machado Gary was a man, it would be... Thank you, Zesty Drinkers. Dougie has incredible... Shut up. Makhachev. Where is Khabib? Modern day. Islam shouldn't even be in the top 20. Moreno should be in there. Let's say 20 to... Moreno? No. Moreno? Oh, Brandon Moreno. Maybe. What has Curtis Blades done that's more impressive than Islam Makhachev? Fucking Curtis Blades is a monster. Dougie Sipsley, Islam Man Milk. What's up, you Australian fat? What's up, B Fatty? Maybe to 2035. Dougie Blow the Goat. Islam is number 11. Also, Gamrot. Gamrot's here somewhere. Gamrot's floating around somewhere. Islam shouldn't be in the top 25 by your criteria, Dougie. Dougie keeps sleeping on Con Gracie. Con Gracie should not be even in the fucking UFC. Volk is the GOAT, though. Volk is the GOAT, but he's a 145er. Bro couldn't even defend Curtis Blades with a straight face. Why are you guys SD Drinkers? So, Bo Nickel kind of shouldn't even be in the top 30, right? Like, if really what you guys have been saying is if Bo Nickel's in the top 30, RDR should be in the top 30. So Bo Nickel kind of should be yeeted out of here. I think that's a fairly correct statement. I think Bo Nickel even deserves to be in here. Yog, we've done the women's feet tier list. We've done it, Yog. I appreciate your commitment to the game. I think Bo Nickel's getting yeeted out of here. See you, Bo. And we might be getting RDR in instead. Very interesting. I did not expect this to happen. RDR might be coming in instead of Bo Nickel. Wild times. All right, so we've got our top 10 there. No, deport Bo. Yeah, Bo Nickel's been deported. He's out of here. We'll put Marab here just to get the chat flowing. We'll put Marab here. We'll put Jon Jones here for now. We'll put Benil Dariush here. Put Gamrot down here. No, Gamrot goes higher. The fuck was that? That goes there. Arman Sarukian goes above all of them. Arman's already in the list. All right, cool. Yeet the fraud. Yep. Yog with the consistency again. We gotta love it. Fun fact: Blades and Islam both have the exact same takedown accuracy. No shit. There you go, Larry. I love Alexa Grasso feet. Love that Bo isn't in that. Bo's gone. This is correct. There are some new ones coming. I forgot their name. There are some new ones. Blades has pretty much dominated everyone who hasn't TKO'd him with the exception of Almeida, who he TKO'd. Yeah, Curtis Blades is very, very good. Very good. All right, so Islam Makhachev, welcome to the 5 to 7 range. Islam Makhachev. So the chat have voted. It's a dead draw. Chat, he couldn't hold down Alexander Volkanovski. 11 votes. Chat says 5 to 7 at 27%. 7 to 10 at 27%. 5 to 17 at 27%. This is unbelievable. This is a list of fighters, and I respect that. This is a list of fighters, Cheddarhead. You are not wrong. This is a list of fighters. It's a dead heat. You can't put Islam at 10. You cannot tell me that Islam Makhachev has got better grappling than Merab. You can't, I can't hear that. And you can't tell me that he's got better grappling than Bilal. Merab and Bilal have both been more successful with their grappling and wrestling than Islam have. Like, we can do this right now, right? I'll move Islam down easily. Like, there goes, like, who's got better wrestling? Who's got better wrestling and grappling? Who's got better wrestling and grappling? Merab's is better than Bilal's. Bilal's is better than Umar's. Jones's is better than Islam's. Like, you can't put Islam in the top 10. There's too many people that are better than him. I changed my vote to 15 to 17. Does anyone remember when I ordered that shirt? How's the shirt coming along, Shedhead? I still think if Blades versus Jones is a 50-50 fight, I'm still not, if not slightly favoring Blades. Yeah, 27 plus 27 is more than 50%, Doug. 27%, 27, 5 to 7, 27%, 7 to 10 at 27%. So above the top 10, in the top 10. He's in the top 10 somewhere. That's true. Dougie Merch Store is a scam. We voted him into the top 10. That's what you did. He's never coming. It is coming. Spit in my mouth. Nurmagomedov is one of the cousins. Dunny is going to sell. 5% got 27% and 10 out of 7 got 20%, which means he does get into the top 10. But he's not better than any of these people at wrestling. Jon Jones is a better wrestler than Islam Makhachev. So is Umar, so is Bilal, so is Merab. They're all better than him at wrestling. All of these people ahead of him are better than him at wrestling. They're all better than him at wrestling. Like, you guys voted that he's in the top 10, but you're all wrong. You are all wrong. You are all wrong. He can't hold people down and keep them down. He can't. He can't even get off a good single leg. He can duck under. When you're hooking, he can duck under you and get a good double leg on you. But he can't. That's about it. That's all he's got, really. Merab has insane cardio. He squats Cejudo 100 times for 3 sets. His technique isn't the best, though. It's still effective. If that's the case, Bilal 11, Merab 12, and Islam 13. Yeah, I reckon just inside the top 15, which is what I said. Chat voted, don't rob us, but you're wrong. You voted, but you are wrong. I'm trying to educate. I'm not just here to entertain. I'm here to educate. I'm trying to educate you people on why you're wrong. All right, listen. We'll do your wrong list, and we'll do my correct list. So by the time we're done with the 30 grapplers, you guys will have your list, which is just a fan favorite vote, and I'll have the correct way to go. So this is the right top 30 grapplers in the UFC, and then this is retarded chat's top 30 the wrong list. So I'll do it the way you guys want it done, but you guys are wrong. All right, so Islam goes in the top 10, which he does not belong in, but that's okay. We'll put Islam in the top 10. And chat's just wrong. But that's all right. Chat's allowed to be wrong. You can't be always right. Nacho, I've seen Islam fight everyone who's been nearly as dominant with their grappling as Armin has, so there's nothing remotely close to apples and oranges comparison. If this is the case, Bilal at 11, Merab at 12, and Islam at 13. That's what I reckon. Paddy being on the list for subbing unranked bums, but Paul Craig isn't when subbing the current and former champ. Help me's not wrong, but again, help me. Paul Craig will throw up a Hail Mary submission, and he will get it over a current champion, whereas Paddy will actually judo toss you to the ground and work grappling and work submissions. So I think that's how that works. CTE Dougie Blades has dominated the likes of Olenek, Mark Hunt, Uberim, JDS Volkov, and Biggie Boy. Thank you, Larry. Are you going to show us the correct? I will show you guys your list. What is the point of this? Look, we're doing a live stream. People are talking. We're having an MMA chat to just talk shit about MMA. Brady B. Merab ahead of Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades has been more dominant. I think it's relative to the list. Islam is a midget finish and puts him outside of the top 10. Dougie sucked me off, mate. Mobzar and Islam are not belonging in the top 10. Islam's in the top 10. Islam's in the top. Paddy doesn't take people down there. Paddy will judo toss people to the ground. Paddy will take people down. Islam is a pretty good grappler, bro. Apparently he's a top 10 grappler, but I disagree. Revote? How? All good, but you didn't read that message to Nacho, so... all good, but you read that message to Nacho so wrong. It was basically the opposite of what I meant. No, I think it worked in my favor that way, Larry. Making it sound like Curtis Blades has fucking dominated people. Made it sound in that way. So does Curtis Blades belong in the Team 10? You ruined everything, Doug. Thanks a lot, mate. Sorry, Nacho. I fucking apologize, mate. You know, that's my bad. I'm sorry, Nacho. Now, this is where you guys have fucked up the top 10 completely. Congratulations on offending everyone. Well, they're the ones that got it wrong. Paddy judo throws Jordan Levitt, but Craig has slept on for strangling the current. I'm not sleeping on him, dude. I'm not sleeping on him. I'm saying Paddy Pimblett will actually get people to the ground, sit on top of them, and in the last fight with Michael Chandler, rain down ground and pound, right? So Paddy Pimblett will get you to the ground, work you, and actually control you on the ground. Paul Craig will roll onto his back and just Hail Mary submissions. This isn't a submission tier list. This is a who's the best wrestler grappler tier list. So Paddy Pimblett has got better wrestling and grappling than Paul Craig, even though Paul Craig has a submission over the current light heavyweight champion. Do an impression of Dark Lord Ben Rothwell cutting off your power yesterday. Nobody cares about this list. Blades has been dominant over obese people, while Merab, not dominant, was consistently good against high-level competition. This is true. So, let's do some one-to-one battles. Let's do some one-to-one battles. Who's the better wrestler / grappler? Let's do some one-to-one battles. Armin or Islam? Let's sort this. Let's sort this out now. Let's go 1-for-1 battles and see who's higher on the list. Armin or Islam, and then after that, we'll do Blades versus Merab. Who's more effective, Armin or Islam, or Blades versus Merab? We'll do that after this. And this will start to sort out the top 10. Jailton Almeida, you're not in number 5. Too high. Blades has been dominant over obese, but we did that one. I think you need to take into account the caliber of fighter that these guys are and grappling. Yeah, we do that. I mean, that's probably why people are saying Merab is higher than Blades, because Merab is fighting a higher caliber fighter than Blades is. Doug's cousin is great at grappling poles at her occupation. All right, mate. I'm not gonna need for that. Islam already out-grappled Armin, so why are you being gay? Because you're not going off one fight. You're going off the career that they have had, right? You are looking at Armin versus Islam because they fought each other once 5 years ago when Armin Sarukian was coming in on short notice. But look at the work they've both done in the division since then. Who has gotten off more damage against their opponents since then when it comes to grappling and wrestling? I would say Islam has gotten off more damage on their opponents with his sick Muay Thai up the center, where Armin has been the better wrestler in the lightweight division compared to Islam. Merab is better at grappling than Aljo. Interesting. We've got some fucking movement here. I'll tell you what. We've got some fucking movement happening here. Tell you what, boys. Oh, 50-50 in the chat. Jailton is better than Blades, though. Jailton is better than Blades. Jailton's better than Blades. So it looks like this is the way that our 50-50 here. Seems to be the way the race is panning out thus far. There was literally only one obese person in that whole list of Blades' opponents I named. Anya Larry. No, that's because Blades should be in the top 10. I think Blades should be in the top 10. I'm taking Dougie's list over this list. Anya Crisp. I knew I was fucking right. Dougie has sex with his cousin. Jesus, mate. Pantoja should be above Blades and Almeida. Ooh. Pantoja above Blades and Almeida. That moves them out of the top 10. It moves Islam. I knew Islam couldn't be in the top 10. He's just not good enough. Armin's coming in at 53%. 15 votes. 17 people watching. Ugh. Gemogged Nacho. Pantoja should be over Blades and Almeida. Islam sub Charles. Islam subbed Charles. Armin went to his split decision and nearly got subbed twice. Why isn't Johnny Walker in the top 5? This isn't worst chins in the UFC. Islam is gay for midgets. Okay. Suck shit, Islam, you're out. So Islam, Dougie, what's wrong with cousin loving? Hey, what's wrong with loving your cousin? What's wrong with loving your cousin? Jailton is better than Blades. There's literally one obese person. Pantoja is at 6. Islam is at... Where's Pantoja at? Pantoja. Where's little Pantoja? So if you put Pantoja there... Pantoja is better than... If you put Pantoja there, then you put Islam there. And then once again, I'm sorry, but if you were to say who has got better wrestling and grappling, Islam or Bilal, Bilal has got better wrestling and grappling than Islam Makhachev does. He just does. Like, there are 13 people better at wrestling and grappling in the UFC than Islam Makhachev. Bro is clinging to Blades for no reason. No. Blades is... Don't be sleeping on Blades, help me. Blades is good, mate. I'm telling you. Blades is one of the best. Top 10. Bilal over Islam is fair. Bilal's better than Islam. I think that, like, we can all assume, no matter where Islam goes, you've got to have Bilal better than Islam when it comes to just wrestling and grappling. That's obvious. That's obvious. And then you guys voted that Armin's ahead. So... And then Curtis Blades is one of the... Okay, Curtis Blades is a top 10. Gamrod over Benil Dariush. We haven't even gotten that far down the list yet. Cheddarhead. This is all just... Fluffy over Brady is actually insanity. What are you talking about, dude? Fluffy will break your ribs, mate. Do we need to pull the tape? Yeah, no, this is just, we're fucked, mate. We got so far to go. The Blades Glaze is reaching Jon Jones Dana level. Are you guys honestly saying that Curtis Blades isn't in the top 10? Are you guys honestly saying that Curtis Blades isn't in the top 10? He's been grappling and wrestling his way to the top 5. He's been in the top 5 for like 1,000 years, all with his wrestling and his grappling. And it's not against blobs, because the top 5 of the heavyweight division, please get Blades and Almeida out of the top 10. Help me, yesterday's chat was saying Jailton Almeida was a top 5 wrestler. That's where we were at yesterday. Yesterday they were saying he was a top 5 wrestler. I'm not talking about 90% of his division. He's been fighting in the top 5. That's why they're neck and neck, Nacho. That's why they're neck and neck, mate. You're embarrassing, cunt. Bilal over Marab over Umar, who is over Islam, confirmed by the Daggy team. Bilal's over Marab, who is over Umar. I would put... I could see an argument for Islam being better than Umar, because Umar has relied a lot on his taekwondo. I could see an argument for these three. He got wrestle fucked by Almeida. How is he in the top 10? Because Almeida is a top 10 grappler. I remember yesterday you guys were saying Almeida is a top 5. Jailton is a top 5. You see? Yesterday you guys were talking about top 5. Almeida bullied him. But Curtis Blades was able to fucking keep him held off. Keep him held off and start raining down those hammer fists. Curtis Blades was able to hold his own against a top 5 wrestler in Jailton Almeida. Just like how Usman... Where's Usman gone? What the fuck happened to Usman? Why did you bail on the list, Usman? Don't bail on us, Usman. Stay, Usman. Stay and talk. You know? Blades is like 20, heavyweight is trash. We shouldn't be holding heavyweight a compliment too high. Anything outside of the top 10 is laughable. What's up, bro? How are you, dude? Dreams of Tanks let me live. Jailton is a top 5. Aljo above Pantoja isn't right either. What do you mean? Aljamain Sterling won a belt with his grappling and his wrestling and went toe-to-toe with Movsar Evloev. He beat Piotr Jan because of his wrestling. That was one bad move. A bad move at heavyweight has bigger consequences than the lighter weight classes. Exactly. I think my list was right. I think my list was the right list. Maybe I'm a little bit off on Charles Oliveira. Maybe Charles Oliveira should be a little bit higher. But I think my list was correct. I think I have got the right list. You guys are sleeping on these three. What about this, right? What if we do this? Pantoja has defended his belt with grappling. I know. What if we do this? Take these two. We put them here. What about this? Aspinall is the best wrestler in the UFC. He just hasn't had a chance to showcase it. Then it doesn't count Mountain Man because we haven't seen it. You're off on Shavkat. Almeida got 9 takedowns against Blades because he couldn't hold him down at all, and letting Almeida take him down over and over gassed Almeida out and helped him get the finish. Elite grappling IQ. Exactly, mate. Finally, Islam over Bilal? No, you can't. Bilal's a better wrestler than Islam. Pantoja over Bilal? Benny's above Gamrot? Benny is above Gamrot. Actually, Pantoja should be over Movzar. How are you putting Pantoja over Movzar? If you go back and look at everyone's last fight, you will see while Jathan is... Yeah, Jalton's very... Chad is sleeping on Jalton and Blades. Colby at 20. Colby's at fucking 29, mate. Colby's at 29. Colby's all the way down here. We need Volk. Volk's going above these cunts. Volk's going above these cunts. Volk's going in just behind Jon Jones. Yes. If you go back and look, how good is Pantoja's grappling, for fuck's sake? Pantoja's grappling is pretty fucking good, Jedhead. Bo Nickel at 29. Bo Nickel got deleted, mate. Bo Nickel got deleted. Movzar has never touched gold. Pantoja has wrestled his whole division to the belt and defended multiple times. Help me, could you not argue that Movzar could have touched gold if the UFC weren't working against him? But then again, that's like me saying... We haven't seen Tom Aspinall's grappling. We haven't seen Tom Aspinall's wrestling, so you can't count it. So it's hard to say what mobs are. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yep. Bilal lost his tiger to a striker. Lost his belt to a striker. Yep. True. Torres finished and be ranked. How's he above both Colby and Cejudo? Good. I think he's probably could out-wrestle Colby Covington now. I think Colby Covington's wrestling is dog shit. Is absolutely dog shit. Ricky Simone fell off hard. Ricky Simone fell off completely, mate. You had your eyes on Ricky Simone so clearly. And then this one down here is RDR. RDR is the last spot. I don't have a photo of RDR, but that's it. Last one is RDR. Anyway, boys, that's it. Near 2-hour stream, 2 hours. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for joining me on this stream. Thank you for jumping in on the top 30 wrestlers and grapplers in the UFC. Not having Charles in the top 10 or even top 15 is certifiably retarded. I gave pretty good reasons as to why Charles isn't too high. Again, it's all defensive. I just got here. You're the one that fell asleep, mate. Great list. Dope stream. I think it was a good stream. Change the title to the list of top guys at holding their own opponent if you're not going to consider all the aspects of wrestling and grappling. I feel like we did, and I feel like I gave my reasons to why Charles Oliveira is a little bit mid. at wrestling and grappling compared to some of the best wrestlers and grapplers in the entire organization. Back-to-back lists of all time. Yeah, local taxi driver. See you, Blanca. Volk's offensive wrestling is even that good. It is. It is, mate. His whole run up to winning the title was offensive wrestling. I just woke up. You're the one that chose to have a nap, mate. Eric used to wear doable knee pads when he wrestled in high school. He still does to this day. Tes Pomor. I don't know what SYBAU means, but I'm sure it's something weird. Anyway, boys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for joining me on the middle of the day stream. Very rare one, but it was a fucking good one. It's quite literally not at all defensive or reactive or even close to. Disagree. Hard disagree, but it doesn't matter because we're at the end of the stream. So you and Blades, huh? Bloody love Curtis Blades. Undeniable wrestler of the UFC, Curtis Bloody Blades, mate. But that's it. I'm out of here. Everyone have a good day, a good arvo, a good night, wherever you're watching from. There's a video today about the whole goddamn division ducking Magomed Ankalaev. Get fucking mogged, mate. They're all ducking Magomed Ankalaev. So go and watch that video. And until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. See you, boys.